Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, lovers of Ali Igbo, lovers of free people, lovers of progress, lovers of great people, lovers of everything that is beautiful. I welcome you all today. I still remain your own faithfully Chukwemeka, Ojemba Ndi Igbo, Anyanwụ. And I'm here to engage people of the world, Ndi Igbo, and also foreigners who might be joining, who might find or who may find this program interesting, so that we can give our candid opinions without fear, without hindrances or without let. It is a very wonderful day. It is a very wonderful time in our life for us to do this, because for some days now, there has been a lot more of misunderstandings, propagandas, and a lot of misconceptions about the Igbo people who are residents in diaspora, who are in diaspora. A lot of people are of the opinion that they have no right to elect or choose traditional leaders in their respective countries. And others has formed an opinion based on our cultural inclinations that Ndi Igbo should be allowed to have an opinion, or should be allowed to have traditional leaders, which I would not be biased over, but I have my opinion that as a cultural people, we, as a free people also, and as an African descent, we should be allowed to have our traditional leaders. This has really created a mixed feelings, mixed reactions among my people in Igbo who are at home. Most people, or some people, has vehemently rejected these ideas, citing that why they have a valid reason for this, but we must also think about our cultural survival in a fast developing world where even 50%, I will use that word, 50% of Ndi Igbo are resident abroad. These people are populating, having children, having grandchildren in the diaspora. The closest that these children that were born abroad, or that have been born abroad, can get to the Igbo culture, to understand our uniqueness, is through our traditional institution and our cultural heritage. Now, outside this, the teeming population of Ndi Igbo in diaspora, how do we organize them? How do we bring them closer to the Igbo, culture, to the Igbo Renaissance? Is it through town unions? It is understandable that Ndi Igbo are tribal people with many tribes. That is to speak, to put it this way, Ndi Igbo no Ndi Ọka, Ndi Nsụka, Ndi Ezi, Ndi Ngwa, Ndi Mbaise, Ndi Owerri, Ndi Isu, Ndi Oru, Ndi Ndoke, Ndi Ikwere, Ndi Eka, Ndi Ụkwụani, Ndi Ọnịcha. Ndi Newi, Ndi Omambala, Ndi Nandi Nandi. So, and it is understood that these whole people has their town unions in these diasporan places they reside. We have the Enugu Town Union, even the Nsukka Town Union, we have the Eze Town Union, we have Mbieri Town Union, we have Owerri. Now, no unity when it comes to the name Igbo. What could be the unifying factor for these people? A centralized chief that we can call Eze Igbo. This is my own opinion, personal, based on research. But my own personal opinion. Now, when we have a centralized chief, call it Eze in our own language, or Onyendu in our own language, who will organize in the Eze, Enugu, Nsukka, Oka, Omambala, all becoming one people under the umbrella of Igbo, Ikwere, you know, with an organized structure. What could be more unifying than this to our people? My interest is the well-being of our Igbo. My interest is in defense of the Igbo identity, the Igbo culture, the Igbo heritage. You might argue who gave me such mantle, but it is, as only Igbo, I hold that. And I owe nobody any explanation to hold such view and to contribute my own quota as only Igbo first. So, before we condemn our people for holding such an office in the diaspora, we must first of all understand what are their primary responsibilities and why are our people in diaspora actually responsible for the crowning of such chiefs, or for the appointment, or for the selection, no matter how they were chosen, of such chiefs. What does it mean? Now, there was a video that was sent to me, but I was unable to download it because I wanted to recreate the video, or react on the video and post right here on YouTube and also other social platforms that we run. This video was about the New Yam Festival that was held in Ghana. It was held in Ghana, and a lot of people, Ezes from the homeland here actually attended. We are in attendance of that Iriji Ghana. You should see the cultural display. You should see the ambience, the beauty, the colors of Igbo culture in that Iriji. You should be able, I should find a way to download that video and bring it up here for a larger view of our people to understand that we need these institutions. It is not, it should not be, overflowed. If Ndi Igbo actually needs the traditional institutions in diaspora, it is necessary. It is more than necessary. Like I said at the beginning of this live feed, that our people, our population, the population of the entire, statistically, the population of the entire Igbo nation, 50%. Okay, let me not exaggerate it. Let's say 40% of the Igbo entire population is resident abroad, is in the diaspora. It is not a hearsay or an assumption or a made-up story. We are resident abroad, 50%. So now, and these people are having more and more families, building families there, having children, some married foreigners, some married, from Igbo stock and all those. How do you feel that these children, these new families, these new emerging families will cope in a foreign land where there is no much Igbo influence to learn about our culture? Is it our culture should it be static that it must, for you to learn about Igbo culture, you must only live in the Igbo homeland, which we call Ali? Are you of that opinion? Could such culture be sustained for the future generations? Check all the tribes in Ali Igbo today. How many of these tribes are more residents in the diaspora than in Igbo? How do we make our children, the children that are born in these lands, to be accustomed with our traditions, our heritage? If not having a traditional institution, it could be ceremonial, it could be whatever, but those people observe the traditional or the heritage of Ali Igbo more than even we that are home. Because whatever the Igbo nation does, we must not relegate our traditional celebrations, our heritage, such as the Iriji. We must not. Even we in the homeland, as a unified Igbos now proponents, we are advocating for the Igbo nation to have a centralized Iriji ceremony, Iriji festival. Be the week, Ndi Igbo Nini Iriweji. This is part of our advocacy right here at home in the Igbo homeland. So now, a lot of people are now rising up to bash, to condemn why Ndi Igbo should have this Eze Igbo in the diaspora, just like the Igbo chief is having it hot now in Ghana. Our own people are even more in the condemnation without understanding the importance of this. Okay, let's even digress a bit to why, when he said that he's building an Igbo village, an Igbo heritage village, how bad could this be? How bad? Some people are of the opinion that he should bring it at home. How? Like Igbo village, bring it to Igbo land. How? Igbos are mercantile people. Igbos are explorers. Igbos are business oriented. And an individual wants to, without trying to bring maybe this, there are things that before we condemn, we should first of all understand. A lot of people, like I've noticed, because a lot of people are raising posts against my posts, saying that I have it on phone here. Like raising why should I raising some public opinions and stuff like that. I don't know if you can see that from there. I don't know who can see that, but these things are very, very deceitful and will end up creating the wrong notion in the minds of people. First of all, I will reiterate here that my interest, my sole interest is for the development of Ali Igbo. My interest in Igbo culture and why I am raising a banner for a unified Igbos now is to see that Ali Igbo progresses, to see that Ali Igbo advances. We started locally, we started at home, raising the campaign to unify Ndi Igbo, traveling to all the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria where Ndi Igbo are not migrants, where they have communities, ancestral lands. We made it to Bayelsa in Sabama local government area where we found Ndi Igbo in Osekwenike, in their communities, Osifo, Ebueto, all in Sabama, Bayelsa states. We went to River States in the whole local governments of Igbo in River States, Ikwere local governments, Echi, Upobo, Egbe Mandoni local government area. All these places we traversed. In Akwa Ibom, same thing. With Okanafan local government area where we have communities of Ndi Dintoke stock. So we have done this. We have met our groundwork known, and it is public. It is in the public domain. So we understand better the uniqueness of the Igbo identity. I have spent the past 3 years of my life doing these researches, writing them, which by the grace of God, the manuscript of this whole travel will be presented, will be handed over to the Igbo nation as an institutionalized organization. This will happen, but I'm not going to say much about it now. But we have actually contributed immensely to the well-being and the unity of our league. That I am telling you right here that we should give it a serious thought. Why Ndi Igbo must be organized in the diaspora through our traditional institutions. Why the different villages, different communities, because I said earlier in this live broadcast that we have the Nsuka Development Union in the diaspora, in America, in UK, in South Africa, in everywhere, even in Malaysia. We have the Omambala, we have some even have Enugu, organizing the whole tribes or clans in Enugu. Some have the Abia state. So a lot of, it is all, in a organized, in different, this, that, this. But that is not, I'm not saying that it is not okay, but that is okay. That is perfect. But what about a centralized Igbo? Because identity is, first of all, is Igbo. So while we are organized in our clans, in our different tribes, we should also be organized collectively as Ndi Igbo. That is where a traditional institution, because you cannot say you are, you are what? Governor General or President General of Igbo. No, you must have a nomenclature in the Igbo language, which is neither you call yourself Onyendu or Eze or anything that is indigenous to our language. Often we have been criticized, we in the Unified Igbos now has been criticized, but criticism is good when it's done properly. When we began going to the Ikwere region, a lot of people criticized us. We were criticized domestically and internationally. That live in the Ikwere, they are betrayal, that is, that is, this is. We did not, we listened, but we did not. We weren't perturbed about the criticism, but rather we welcomed it. We began to understand, okay, if the Ikwere man is regarded that he betrayed the Igbo, that singular thought and movements brought the Ikwere man as the President General of Ohanese and Igbo. Now, when we started campaigning also for the recognition for the Igbo youth to participate more, because the interest is to bring the Ohanese and Igbo platform in the public forum for the youth to understand, because as of then, earlier this year, the Igbo youth was like, so, we were immersed with so much. Where are we going to? What is, we have Igbo and we have the agitators. Those are one in sovereign states. We have the one Nigerian, those that believe that Nigeria will work. Then we have the ordinala adherents, those that wants a total return to the ordinala Igbo. We have these three. But the most recognized are the agitators, those that want a separate Igbo nation, a sovereign Igbo nation. And the other second, those that want a unified Nigeria where the Igbo will have a fair share of the national cake. You cannot dismiss this. Now, let me go back to when we started galvanizing, when we realized that there is so much confusion in the land, there is so much confusion in the mind, in the consciousness of an average Igbo man, on Agihu, on Agazu, on Agana left, on Agana right. These cause of things. Now we realize that the Ohanese and Igbo, if structured very well, if the right man is there, will give a better insight, will give a better leadership to Igbo. That will be because the Ohanese and Igbo President General serves more, should in fact serve more interest in the interest of Igbo more than the governors, the whole eastern states, southeastern state governors. If structured well, listen, if the Ohanese and Igbo President General understand the enormous, how am I going to put this? That if the Ohanese and Igbo understands the responsibility being bestowed upon him, that he should be more responsible to the Igbo nation more than the southeastern political governors. Understand this. And that was what led us to make frantic efforts to bring the Ohanese leadership to the fora, to the consciousness of Onyi Igbo. This institution should be revolutionized, and our people, let's have stake, let's have our people in this in order to make a better leadership for the interest of Igbo. When we started this campaign, we were criticized. Some criticized the movement, criticized me in particular, that why am I venturing into the organization? I should wrap it up, I should leave it. No. I said no. I tried to explain myself. I said no. What I'm doing is not for my interest, but for the interest of Igbo. Understanding what Ohanese Igbo President General can offer to the Igbo nation. Pure leadership, which encompasses every facet of the Igbo political, traditional, and economic aspirations in Nigeria and also in diaspora. Now, this brings us back to why the Igbo nation should have a very robust traditional institutions in the diaspora, working in liaison or working in tandem or in partnership with a better structured Ohanese and Igbo. Ohanese and Igbo being like overseeing these institutions at home and also in diaspora for the interest of Igbo. If anybody's out there recording this particular broadcast, as I'm having more people joining, please do so that you can rebroadcast. And if this live feed is shareable, please also do, so that we can learn a thing or two. Thank you. So, if we have these institutions working perfectly, serving only the interest of our Igbo, I believe that at least 70, 75 to 80% of the Igbo interest will be protected, and most of the things that we find difficult, most of the answers that we seek will be answered. Let's look inwards to solve our problem. Because the Igbo nation is having an internal and external problems, unanswered questions. Things that should be addressed normally. We are not still leaving aside the majority of the Igbos who feel that every institution can be hijacked by some self-serving interests, politicians and everything. We are having a disunity, we are having an issue of trust between the people and any leadership in our Igbo. You know that. How do we start addressing these issues? That is where the movement that we started a few years back is coming in place. Because I will repeat here that I, Chukwemeka, the convener of the Unified Igbos Now, and the entire team of the Unified Igbos Now, and the vision of the Unified Igbos Now, is serving no personal interests, rather for the interest of our Igbo. For I have sworn that the interest that I will always promote, that I will always serve, is the interest of the entire Igbo nation. And so help me God. I am proud of that, and I consistently swear to it and maintain it. We are building a platform that the agitators will trust, the one Nigerian will trust, and every person in our Igbo will have to trust. It is not easy, but we are coming to that. We are getting it. The momentum is growing and is building earnestly. Mighty things starts in little form. And we are here for that. What I am saying, what I am pleading for us here is to give it a thought. How do we organize using our traditional institutions, the Igbos in diaspora? And also for the participation of Ndi Igbo in the Ohaneze institution. This is not a personal interest, but for the interest of our Igbo. I gain nothing personally, but if the Igbo nation gains, I gain the world. If the Igbo nation fails, I have failed completely. Thank you all for listening, for watching, for tuning in to this live. This is YouTube for today. I thank you for joining me. I will be scheduling more live programs in order to sensitize our people, in order to speak out, in order to share the visions that we have for the Unified Igbos Now. We have in the Unified Igbos Now for the Igbo nation. Thank you and God bless you. I remain your own faithfully Chukwemeka. Thank you and God bless.